Books, 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 book, books, 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 book, books, book, books, books, books. Okay. Oh, and welcome back to the Board Book Review.
Hello and welcome back to the Board Book Review.
Hello, and welcome to the Board Book Review.
Hello and welcome to the Board Book Review. I am your host, John Brody. Today we are going to be reviewing Frankenstein. This is a thesaurus, you twat. Thank you. Frankenstein, also known as the Modern Prometheus, written in 1818 and first published anonymously by Mary Shelley. She wrote this book when she was 18, you know, that age where we're doing stupid things with our hair, or wearing stupid clothing, or trying to impress someone of the opposite sex or the same sex, not that I'm judging. Then years later we look back and go, oh dear God, what was I doing? Before we begin, I'd like to clear up some misconceptions. People believe that this is Frankenstein. This is not Frankenstein. This is Frankenstein, Dr. Victor Frankenstein. He created Frankenstein's monster. We have Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster, Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster, Frankenstein's... Okay, moving on. Our story begins aboard a ship bound for the North Pole, and they're stuck in the ice, and all of a sudden they see this massive figure aboard a dog sled traveling towards the North Pole, and they are just kind of like, okay, what the heck? And then they see this smaller figure who's a near-death, frozen... Let it go, let it go. Thank you. A near-death, frozen... Dr. Victor Frankenstein, and they bring him aboard and they put him in the captain's quarters, and then he begins to tell his tale. Now, this prequel to the narration is left out a lot of the movies. I do that every time I mention something important. Okay, it's left out a lot of movies. You know, different people, different directing choices. But so from here we start on our story, and our doctor tells us of his story of how he created the monster, where he was in the University of Ingolstadt in the middle of Germany, always being interested in alchemy and various sorcerers, weird, strange, doodly bopper thingamabobs. He decides to reanimate a corpse, and so he brings a dead body, or numerous parts of a dead body, into his dorm room, which I think is incredibly unfair because I couldn't even get away with getting a fishbowl. It was unbelievable. Nobody is aware of the fact that the guy's going out and stealing bodies and bringing them up to his room and then experimenting. Nobody hears the horrific screams or the light. You know, okay, that's out of the movies. In fact, in the book, they never mention how he does it, which is very frustrating to me because as a person, I want to know how to do it. In the movies, this is the part with Igor, by the way, his little henchman.
No, it's pronounced Igor.
And Igor actually was not in the original script. He's not canonical. He first appeared in the 1931 movie and was originally named Fritz. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with that information. But yeah, Igor Fritz. He reanimates the corpse and it's alive! And then he takes a look at it for the first time because he hasn't been working on it for months and months and months, and is horrified by this horrific creation, which is this 9-foot-tall undead monster, and he screams like a little girl, exits stage left, has a nervous breakdown, and is nursed back to health by his friend Henry Clerval. Like all responsible adults, he decides to do the right thing, which is, of course, to pretend it never happened. He then returns to his home in Vienna, where he comes from a very wealthy family, and leaving his creation, this 9-foot-tall, monstrous-looking animated corpse thing, with no concept of people, speech, or any sort of societal concepts, in the middle of the University of Ingolstadt, which is in the middle of Germany, which is in the middle of Europe. Dick move, Frankenstein. So he goes back home and pretends nothing ever happened. The creature goes through a sordid series of events, comes to Geneva. I said Vienna before, it's Geneva, my apologies. Through a sordid series of events, he's trying to get Frankenstein's attention. Things start to deteriorate because Frankenstein's trying to ignore him. First, the maid is blamed for thievery and is hung, past tense of, you know, strung up by a noose thing. Not a misconception about thievery. Her brother is killed, and eventually his half-sister and wife are killed too. And yeah, the half-sister and wife thing really pulled a Woody Allen there. And so the monster basically is trying to get his creator to give him some sort of meaning. And after that, he's trying to, left alone with some meaning, he wants some sort of form of companionship. He wants a bride. And that's actually part of the canon. Frankenstein's bride. Not as that weird-haired, white striped thingy. But yeah, that's actually canonical. Frankenstein's bride is canonical. The sort of affair begins. The monster kills Frankenstein's wife and half-sister. He tries to reanimate her as the bride. Things go awry. And thus begins the chase of Frankenstein across the world after his creation, ending up aboard this Enterprise to the North Pole. Book spawned many, many movie adaptations. The first movie adaptation, I think, was 1908. Was one of Edison's first silent films. It's about 9 minutes long. The latest incarnation of the film will be starring Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy. It's supposed to be coming out sometime in late 2015, early 2016, I'm not quite sure. On the subject of movies, my favorite version of the Frankenstein story is Young Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
But if I had to choose a most accurate depiction, I would say the 1994 Robert De Niro version is probably the most accurate to the story. But as always, and you'll hear me say this a lot, the book is always better than the movie. Frankenstein explores a lot of interesting philosophical questions, man against God, man in the place of God, the place of science against religion, the place of science, and the limit science should go to life and things man should tamper with and not, the nature of good and evil, the ethics of what is good, what is evil, just these entire great philosophical questions. Of course, the one question that always bothers me is, how the hell do I make one of these things? Okay, I deserve that one. It's a great book. The character of the monster is very much influenced by the Golem of Prague, who's this legendary Jewish monster from the Czech city of Prague, where the book was actually written. Also, there's a kind of reference to Prometheus, both in the name of the modern Prometheus. Prometheus was the Greek titan who Zeus ordered to create man, and then after he created man, Zeus said, okay, you know what, this is a crappy project. Let's leave him alone. Prometheus gives him fire. It's a whole big sordid ordeal. So that has been Frankenstein. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience because I haven't had to speak with any of you directly. Like and subscribe below. Feel free to leave a comment. Special thanks to my cameraman and my editor and co-producer. And I hope to see you again soon. Or not see you again. To the outro!